Welcome to the Alex Jones Show on this Thursday, January 29th, 2015. I'm David Knight. I'll be your host today. We're going to be talking about a wide variety of issues. We've got Paul Joseph Watson joining us from the UK in the bottom of this hour. In the third hour, we have Rosa Koire, who has published the book Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21. She's an expert on Agenda 21. She's somebody who's coming to it from the left, and she has a very important perspective. I think these two things are really coming together in one area in particular that we're seeing this happen, and that is in transportation. We're going to talk to Paul Joseph Watson about his article talking about how the UK is going to start developing the government-controlled network using what they call M2M, machine-to-machine. Here it's going to be called V2V, vehicle-to-vehicle. That's been mandated by Obama to take place in just a couple of years. And of course, every bit of your movement is going to be tracked and controlled by the government. They want to call this self-driving cars. Let me tell you, they're computer-driven cars, and they're controlled by the government. That's the point of it. And it's also a part of Agenda 21 because, of course, Agenda 21 is about limiting where we can live, limiting where and when we can travel. They need to take control of transportation. That's a very important aspect of government control. It's not just knowing everything about you, tracking you wherever you go. It's also about controlling where you go, controlling where you live, controlling how you live. It's an absolute total control grid that they want to put in place, and transportation is a very important part of that. So we're going to be talking to Rosa Koire about that. I just got this flyer this last week about one of the Agenda 21 meetings that were being held to push the Texas corridor that they're trying to create. Of course, they want to merge the large cities, Austin, San Antonio, and eventually Dallas and Houston will be brought into a triangle if you look at their long-term plans, and pretty much everything else will be off limits. Of course, it's all being sold as sustainable, as environmental, as something that's going to help you to live a more green life. And so she points that out, and Behind the Green Mask, this is what I got in this flyer. It says, the regional rail project is proposed to improve mobility, mode choice, accessibility, and transportation reliability. Well, you know what? I have mode choice right now, and I get to choose where I want to go, but they don't like that. They're not going to allow that. I think a common theme between what Paul Watson has talked about this last week, of course, he's been talking about Davos. We're going to talk to him about that as well, but he also talked about the UK government announcing plans to remotely control vehicles. And of course, this is something we've been pointing out for quite a while here at INFOWARS, and Alex Jones has been talking about it for a very long time. A key portion of controlling the population, of course, is going to be getting control of transportation. And that plays into both Agenda 21 as well as what we see being rolled out very rapidly in all the Western countries, Europe, the United States as well. They are all rushing to what they call driverless cars. Let me tell you, these self-driving cars is the other way they refer to them. I have a self-driving car right now. I can drive myself anywhere I want to go. That's not going to be the case once we have computer-driven, government-controlled cars. They're going to determine where you go, how fast you go, and they're going to determine where you go, and they're going to track everywhere you go. And that's something that we should all be very concerned about. This is a flyer that I got telling me that I could go to a meeting, and that's something we're going to talk to Rosa Koire about. This is not just about a Texas corridor. The same thing is going on where she lives in San Francisco. The same thing is going on wherever you live if you're listening to us, because this is part of a UN global agenda. This is a global agenda. This isn't just a problem with Texas or California or the United States. This is going to go on everywhere. Wherever you live, this is something that you've already seen to some degree in your area. They may have already enacted part of it in your area without you understanding what's going on, but believe me, there is a lot more coming.